Dear Thầy, dear sisters, and dear community, today is 16th of November in the year 2023. We are in the new Hamlet, full moon hall meditation. And before I came in here, there's a little bit worries inside of me, and I just come back to my breathing and really be aware of my steps. And I just saw yellow leaves on the ground. It's a sign that autumn has arrived. And I have been in Plum Village for a couple of years. And every time, whenever the autumn comes, I was so happy because I see the leaves changing the colors, and the weather become cooler, especially nowadays, the climate change. And in the summer it was so hot, and when it turned to the autumn, the weather has just become cooler. And wherever I step out, I feel that I don't need to have a fan with me. I don't need to find something to cover my head. I just enjoy with the nature, look at the sky, the trees, and it made me so happy with that. So this morning from my room to here, I just look down and I see so many yellow leaves already fell down on the ground. And I just see how wonderful and how miraculous that the life offered to us and offered to me. And even that I have a little bit butterfly in my stomach, but there's also the wonders of life around me. And if I just come back and be aware of that, I also can come down myself, can enjoy the nature, and don't need to be just focused on my worriness, focus on my anxiety. I can just be aware of the nature, be aware of my breathing, be aware of my steps. It can help me to stop thinking, and also exaggerating, and also make myself even worry more. So from there to here is a very beautiful practice to me. And then when I step into the hall, then another energy suddenly touched to my heart, that the guided sitting meditation. So thank you so much for our friends who offer the guided sitting meditation this morning. So I sat there at the back, and I just follow my breathing and listen to the sentences. And so when our friends say that breathing in, I am aware of my inner weather. And I also come back to really be aware of my inner weather, how it is, how my feeling is right now, how my body is right now in this moment. And then I just follow. And then the next guided sentence, that I generate love in my heart, and I send my love to the world. It's so touching to me. And then it's really helped me to calm down and relax my whole body, because I see that the important thing right now that I can do and I can offer to myself and offer to the world is my peace, my love, and my presence. And I don't need to just caught in my thinking, in my worries, in my suffering, or in my struggles. I can be there for the whole Sangha. And even though I know that today we just only have lay friends, not monastic at home, but I really feel the energy of the practice. So I feel that I'm embraced by this energy, collective energy of all of us who have been generating while practicing together. And so before the Rain retreat, there was a group of our brothers and sisters who went to Israel. And after a trip there, they stuck for a few days because of the war. And when they came back home, I also came to my sister and asked how did she feel when she got stuck over there and cannot flew back to France on time. And she shared with me the war, how the situation over there. And actually, after listening to all the stories, and also I know that now in the world, there's so many things happening. War, injustice, violence, discrimination, hungers, and especially in Vietnam, my hometown, it's a time for flooding and storming. And wherever I listen, and before the Ren retreat, when I listen to that, I just see that how small I am. I know that I cannot do much to help the people who suffer right now. And how can I do to help the people as a human being, as a child of the earth, and also as a part of this world? And it's really stuck there for a while in my heart. And then when one moment, I think a moment of walking meditation, sometimes really gave me many good idea and also insight to help myself. So with the Sangha, we went uphill for the walking meditation, and there's a sentence of Thầy just come up in me, that peace in oneself, peace in the world. And so how can I keep my peace? How can I generate my peace? Well, there are so many sufferings, so many difficulties, so many things that are happening in the world right now. And I'm not like a person who can do big things, but as a human being and a practitioner, I can generate my inner peace to help myself and to offer that peace at least to my sisters in the Sangha. So first, when I can practice to generate peace, happiness and joy in myself, I will not create more war in the Sangha. I will not make a conflict in the Sangha. I will not create some battlefield around the sister in the Sangha. So I can take care of my emotions, I can take care of my suffering, and I can take care of my feelings when they come up, so that wherever it's come up, I can come back. I can breathe. I can be with my feeling. And that is the first reason that really helped me to keep my peace, that I don't create more suffering and struggles in the Sangha. That as a human being and practitioners, I cannot do more than that, but at least I can do in this Sangha, and especially with my sisters. So in New Hamlet, we have around 40 sisters, 20 long terms. So it's quite a lot for me to practice. So at least if I don't make trouble with one sisters, I can keep peace at least for me and for that sisters. And if I can do more than one sisters, peace and happiness can spread out around the Sangha. So that is my practice to keep peace in the Sangha. And also from my practice, I also know that my sister also practice. My sister also try my best. And also our long-term friends also try out their best to generate peace, joy, and happiness in the daily life, so that we can offer to ourselves and offer to the whole community. And there are some of friends, when they come here, especially when they come here for the first time, they normally share that they feel peaceful wherever they come here. They feel safe when they come here, even for a few days or 7 days. And I think that is something that we have been generating together in the practice. We know how to come back to our breathing. We know how to handle our emotions. And we know how to generate happiness, joy, and peace in the daily life. So that when the people, they come to this environment, they come to this place, they feel peaceful. They also feel safe, because all of us in this environment, we also practice generating peace, joy, and happiness within ourselves. And that energy already there in the air. And so we just come and we feel peaceful right away. Even that we don't know the sisters and brothers, especially that we are quite different in the form, that we have no hair. We have a very special robe. But it's easy to feel the peace and the happiness when we come, when we step into the Hamlet, new Hamlet, or upper Hamlet, or lower Hamlet. And that is a collective energy that we generated together. So sometimes we share about collective consciousness and individual consciousness. So suffering, happiness, and peace is also come from here. And if we can practice, if we know how to be aware of our life, our action, our speech, and our thinking, we can generate the individual consciousness. And from the individual consciousness, it can become a collective consciousness. So what I really sometimes imagine in my mind that, I am like one sparrow. And the other person, they're also another sparrow. And then together we have a very big sparrow in the world. So how we can take care of our own sparrow? So like this. And if our own sparrow is peaceful energy, it will affect other. And then all of us, we will affect to one another, and we become like a very strong collective energy that offer to the world. And that is my practice. And sometimes I just imagine myself that I have my own sparrow, and how can I take care of that? And that's why in the daily life, wherever I have a chance to attend the schedules with the Sangha, is my big happiness. Because if I stay alone, maybe I will not wake up to do sitting meditation, because there's like no energy. But I know that the whole Sangha will sit there in the hall, and when I just open the door, enter, and I will enjoy that energy right away. So that is a collective energy, that is a collective consciousness. And or maybe walking meditation, or maybe if I stay alone, I will not really enjoy the walking with the whole Sangha. So when I just came to Plum Village, walking meditation practice is something that I have to make a lot of effort, because I don't get used to walking slowly with the whole with the long light like that, and slow. And sometimes I ask what I'm doing here, just walking like this, and doing what? And then I had to make a lot of efforts to feel at ease wherever I walk with the Sangha, and also to get used to the slower steps with the Sangha, and also to get used to the environment that walking for an hour without talking, and also without thinking, and also get used to come back to my steps, feeling the earth beneath my feet, all these kind of things. I make a lot of effort when I just came to Plum Village, because I feel it's so strange to do that. But the more and more I feel that this is something very special, that I can walk with so many fellow practitioners with so much support from others. And so wherever I walk, I just open up myself, let go of my ego, let go of my separate self, and just jump into the water, jump into the river, and just walk with the whole Sangha. And wherever I walk like that, I really feel the relaxation. I really feel the happiness and joy while walking. And I really feel that the Sangha is there for me. The Sangha offers me its love, its presence very clearly. And wherever we stop together, I also feel each of us there, walking together. And I know that it's very, because I live in the Sangha, sometimes I take it for granted. But I also don't know that how long that I still have this kind of opportunity to walk with the Sangha, to walk silently, to walk peacefully and mindfully together like this. And all these kind of things really help me to come back and to take care of my suffering, take care of my happiness, and take care of my practice. And so we can listen to one sound the bell to feel the collective energy in this hall and come back to our breathing and feel our body. Last time, I had a talk with a girl, and she also asked me a question that whenever she come back to her body, she feels painful, she feels tensions, and she doesn't know how to do. And when I look at her, I also have the same feeling that sometimes when I come back to my body, I also feel tensions. I also feel pain and also feel stress in my body. And then I share with her that actually our body is very sensitive. It can feel everything, all kind of energies around and inside. And how we can take care of our body in order to feel at peace and also have a capacity to come back to our body so that we don't have a tendency to run away wherever we feel uncomfortable or uneasiness coming up or just feel in our body. And for me, the more I practice, the more I really recognize that how beautiful to have a body. But do I have a capacity to accept this body or not? Or wherever I come back, wherever I'm aware of my body, I feel there's something very, it's not easy to be with. And how can I relax my body? Do I have a capacity to relax my whole body or not? Or could I continue to accumulate the tensions, the stress in my body? So it was so funny that we have a rotation team. All of us, we will come to the kitchen once every 8 days to cook for the whole Sangha. And that day, I cook 2 dishes. And then because the time is quite limited, and I have to finish on time for the Sangha to have lunch, and then I just cook, I just cut, I just wash, I just do whatever so that I can finish the cooking on time. So as soon as I told my sister that, okay, everything's finished, we can invite the bell, I really feel my heart beating so fast. And then I just feel my shoulders become so tensed, and I feel tired. And I said, oh, I forgot to relax while cooking, because I'm so stressed that I will not have enough time to finish my dish. And also I will make the Sangha wait, and the Sangha will eat late. So I just really work and do things, but not really being aware of my body. So I just walk, running around, washing things, doing things, but without being aware that I can breathe while walking. I can relax while chopping. I can smile while cooking. I totally forgot. Then after finish everything, what I feel that my body told me that I'm tired already. You forgot to breathe. And now I feel a little bit tension. And then right after that, I just I just sat down there, and I asked my sister, can you help to clean up everything? And I just sat down there, and I really rest, I will not do anything. I just sit there and breathe and really calm down my emotion, and also help my heart to slow down the speed, because it speaks so fast. And then after a while, I feel much better. And then I just know that how sensitive our body is. Even just like that, it's already let me know that there's something in my body that I have to find the ways and also find space and time to relax my whole body. And then that is a lesson for me. So wherever I do something, especially when the things quite I don't have enough time, or I know that something I have to do quickly or on time to finish it, I will be aware of my body first, because I know that that burden, that stress, that tension will be on my shoulder and on my body. And when my body is not well, it will affect to my emotions, to my feelings, my perceptions, my consciousness, and my mental formations. And so take care of my body is take care of everything outside and inside of me. So we can breathe together, come back to our breathing and feel our body in this moment. How do we feel our body in this moment? Do we feel at peace? Or do we feel tensions? Or do we feel stress? Or do we feel uncomfortable feeling when we breathe and connect with our body? So we can listen to one side of the bell and feel our body in this moment. And if there's a feeling of pain, feeling of being uncomfortable, or feeling at peace, we just smile, breathe, and accept it. We can listen to one side of the bell. Um, so today, I would like to share a little bit my experience on the practice that nowadays quite popular, that 4 pillars. I don't know that any of you know this kind of term, 4 pillars. Please raise your hand. Okay, so 4 pillars is working, practicing, studying, and resting. So this is something become very popular in Plum Village. And today I would like to share my experience, my practice a little bit on this topic. Because maybe 10 days ago, I know that I will give a talk today. And I don't really know how I can offer my sharing to the lay friends. And I came to one of our sisters who now taking care of the long-term friends and asked, do you think what kind of topic that I can share today? And she looked at me and said, can you share about the 4 pillars? And look at her, really? I said, yes, you can share about that. I said, but let's see how it goes with my feeling, because it's neat to have connections to share with that. And she said, but it's very helpful for our friends and also for us too. Because this practice has been there for a long time. When I was in Vietnam, and if some of you already read a book, The Miracle of Mindfulness, they share about the story and also how he helped social worker to have a balance in the work, how they can serve, how they can rest, how they can study, and how they can practice. Because as a social worker, sometimes we have a lot of things to do, and we also forget that we also need to come back and take care of ourselves too. And so they share a lot in that book. And this morning when I just opened a book and just read a very first pages about the story between Thay and his friend. And Thay also asked his friend, what do you think about family life? Because he had a little boy and then become like a father. It makes him feel that he has to do things more and like a sacrifice his own time and space for his family. So that's why they asked that question. And then his friend said that at the beginning he felt so difficult to balance, because he felt that he had to find the time to take care of his friend, his son, find the time to be with his wife, find the time to be with himself, find the time to study, and find the time to practice. And then for him it's very difficult. And then he, after a while, from his own experience, and he said that now he practiced not dividing his time for his son, his time with his wife, his time for his own. But wherever he does, or whenever he offers some things to the people, he will also see that this is also his time. If he had time to be with his son, it's also his time to be present with his son. He doesn't need to be like, oh, this is the time for my daughter or the time for my son, and then I will have my time later. So that is the answer that he shared with our teacher. But then also this kind of things that they share for, because in Vietnam there was war in the past, and they established the School of Youth for Social Service for young people. And then they also showed them and taught them how to balance these 4 aspects of life. And so I would like to write something on the board. And so as I shared before, that there's 4 aspects of life that we call 4 pillars of the practice. And I'm not good at drawing, but today I will try my best to draw on the board. Can you see it? No? So I have to write it bigger? Or darker? Okay, now you all can see? Okay, so this is 4 pillars of our practice. And actually, I have these flowers, and I make it become like a flowers with 4 petals. And because last time I went to Greece with my sister, and I just saw her had a very beautiful picture of this. And then it just made me feel, wow, it's interesting to make it become a flower. So it's mean including all aspects of our life. How we work, how we rest or play, how we study, and how we practice. So when we look at all these kind of things, we can see how our relationship with all these aspects, the relationship with work, our connection with our work, our connection with resting or playing, or sometimes we call vacation or holidays, or how our connection with study or learning things, or how our connection and relationship with the practice. So actually, most of us, we are here, we already know the practice a little bit. Even that we stay here for a week, few days, month, or even just a day of mindfulness, we already know the practice a little bit. How to come back to ourselves, how to practice mindfulness, how to be aware, and how to enjoy life. And then when we look at all these things, we can start it to reflect a little bit our relationship with these 4 pillars. Do we have any difficulties, any struggles, any suffering or stress with all these 4 pillars? So this is a question that we can ask ourselves. And here, I put in the middle here the word. Mindfulness. So how mindfulness can help us to be balanced? These 4 pillars. How mindfulness can help us to work peacefully, to be friends with our work, with our career, with our service, with our contribution to ourselves and to the world. And how mindfulness can help us to rest well, rest joyfully and happily. And after resting, we feel better, we feel happier, but it's not that after resting, we have no more energy. And how mindfulness can help us to study, to learn things, and to acknowledge more new things in the world, and how mindfulness can help us for this, and how mindfulness can help us in the practice. So mindfulness already excels a practice, but how the energy of mindfulness can help us to balance our practice. Because some of us, we feel connected with this basic practice than others. Like me, I'm happy to do sitting meditation sometimes, but sometimes I don't like to have like eating in silence. Or sometimes I feel more connection to walk with the Sangha, but I don't feel interesting to practice sitting with the Sangha. So it depends so much on our mood and how the practice of mindfulness, how the energy of mindfulness can help us to balance all this, like a 4 pillars of our practice. And so, how about the work? Many of us, we say that, I have stress while working. Wherever I come to my workplace, there's so many things happen to me. And sometimes while working, it's very easy for us to forget our body. It's like I shared before, that we just work, we just try to finish in things, we just try to accomplish everything. And sometimes we totally forget that our body also needs to be cared while working. And in Plum Village, the practice that normally the brothers and sisters share that practice to listen to the bell after maybe half an hour or 1 hour while working. So there's our one lay friend, I think she's here. She's my French teacher. And last time we went to have a French class together. And because after maybe 10 or 15 minutes, we heard, we listened to one side of the bell. And then we look at her and said, oh, we have a bell? And she said, this is help me to relax. And then when I hear that, I just feel how nice that our friends, when they come here, and they really apply what they have learned from the sisters and brothers. And when she practiced listening to the bell in the class like that, we are students, the sisters, we also practice with her, coming back to listen to one side of the bell for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we continue to learn French together. That is something that happened in Plum Village, and we continue to do it when we come back home. Because here we can listen to the sound of the bell like every day. We wake up, we can hear sound of the bell, or we can hear activity bells many times a day, or we can hear clock chiming after 15 minutes in the dining hall. And it's so many opportunities for us to practice listening to the bell, or listening to the church bell at the 12 o'clock. And these are opportunities to help us to relax. And how about if, when we work, it's very, like me, I work in the office. Sometimes it's very, very stressful, especially when I receive some kind of email that I have to really contemplate and really reflect on it to find a way to answer to those kind of email. Because it's also sometimes trigger my emotions too. And especially when I work at night, after sitting meditation, because if so many email after sitting meditation, I go to the office and I open email and check there's any email that I have to reply as soon as possible. But even after sitting meditation, my mind quite calm. But when things like I read, and that email really sometimes trigger my mood, I can also feel upset too. And there also one time, I received one email, and then I really want to reply right away. And then I wrote, I drafted all kind of things, and just only click to send. And then just, a voice inside of me say, breathe before you send. And then I just sat there. But actually, my finger really want to click to mouse to say send. But then the voice very strongly say, breathe before you send. And then I release the mouse and I really read my sentence again. It was so bad. All my emotions, anger and irritation in that email. And then I said, okay, thank you so much. And I just say to myself, thank you so much for helping me. And then I just breathe for a while. And then I said, do I continue to write another email, or do I wait until tomorrow? And the voice come up in me right away that, please do it tomorrow. Go to bed. And then I just, shut off the screen. And then said, okay, go to bed. And then I just leave the sentences, the email that I already drafted there. And I didn't delete it all. I just leave it there. And then I went to bed. And next morning when I came back, because now I recover my energy. So when I came back, I read that email again, because when I leave, everything's just like that. And so when I came, that email still there. And when I read it again, I say, oh, how lucky I am that I didn't send this email to that person. I destroyed all my relationship with that person. And then I delete it all. And then I write another one. And I know that now I know how to do it, compared with the previous one. So that is how mindfulness helped me to just slow down a little bit, pause a little bit, and just listen to my voice. Because sometimes if my anger, my irritation is stronger than my mindfulness energy, I can send that email right away without reflecting, without considerating. I just send it to finish, and also to let that person know that how angry I was when I listen and when I read that email. Just like a kind of punishment. I just want to just let them know that I also suffer. I don't want to receive this kind of email. But because the practice of mindfulness helped me to just slow down a little bit and listen to my voice inside that. Breathe before you send the email. And that sentence really saved me many times in the office. Because even the email that I receive from people outside, or even among us monastics, sometimes it's very easy to trigger my emotions too. Because if something that I already have some kind of internal knots, if I receive, it triggers my suffering. So that is mindfulness helped me in the way I serve the Sangha. So sometimes we call work, but for me, what I really like to call that serving, like a service. Even that we are outside there, we have a job, we earn living, but it's also our aspiration to offer our talent, our capacity, our energy, our youth, our time to the world. Even if we are gardener, we are doctor, we are teachers, we have salary, but actually that is our aspiration to want our aspiration that we want to contribute our time, energy, and talents to help people. If we are a teacher, we want to help our students. Like us, we are monastics. So we practice in order to, we save this peaceful place. For any one of you would like to be here, you can feel that peaceful energy wherever you come to Plum Village. That's our aspiration. So sometimes I call it like a service, contribution, my talents, my capacity to myself and to the people. And so the first thing that I can really hear that stop and be present. So from my own experience that because I can stop and slow down a little bit and be present for myself so that I didn't send that email. But if I didn't be present there, I didn't listen to myself, that email already sent to the people. So that is the first element that mindfulness can help us to balance our work. And especially so if you already been in Plum Village for summer retreat, that we know that we have so many people, and that is very difficult times for us too, because we have to practice more in order to sustain our energy, in order to self-practice and be with the lay friends. So during those kind of big retreat like that, I really practice to stop more. Stop here is not stop, do not think, but stop here. Slow down my thought a little bit. Slow down my speech a little bit. Slow down my action a little bit, so that I don't create more troubles to myself and to the sisters and their friends around me. And this is the first element that we can see how we can balance our work and resting, studying, or practice. Like a resting. So here we have a practice of lazy day. So we have a lazy day every week. Monday is our lazy day. So most of the time, how do we do in our lazy day? Sleep more? Eat more? Walk more? Or read more? Or some of us, we like 5 times to be just silent with ourselves, like a 5 somewhere. Just being silent with ourselves and have more time with ourselves. That is also the practice of stop and be present. So that after lazy days, we have more energy so that we can have a week to practice, to follow the Sangha, and to serve. So outside there, what I know that Sunday is also a day, like we can call lazy day. We don't need to go to work, right? We can stay at home, right? Sunday is a day that we rest. And we can also apply like a lazy day in Plum Village. Monday is our lazy day, but there's Sunday. So how can we manage our Sunday? We wake up and what do we do normally? Do we have time for ourselves? Do we have time to be with our family members? Do we have time to rest? Or even when we have time to rest, we cannot rest. And I also see myself sometimes that even the lazy days, but I'm still working. But working here is not physical working, but still working in my mind. I still feel restless because I have nothing to do. And then my lazy days become like just try to find something to cover up. Try to find something to forget, to hide myself in that, so that I don't need to remember who I am in that moment. I don't need to know that, in this moment, I don't feel well. Or in this moment, there's a feeling of irritation coming up, or feeling of anger coming up. So how the practice of mindfulness can help us to rest well. So if we rest well, it means we will have enough energy for the rest of the week. And the more we rest, the more we're happy. So even that lazy day we call it a resting day, but in the daily life, wherever we can relax our body, we can relax our feeling, we can relax our emotions, we can also rest because we don't struggle with our body, we don't struggle with our mind. So that is also another deeper level of resting, that we're resting in every moment. We don't need to wait until Sunday or Monday to feel that we are resting. But wherever we do, we can also rest. So if we practice stopping and being present, we can practice that because we can be aware of what is going on in our body, what is going on in our feeling, what is going on in our emotions, our consciousness. So from that, mindfulness can help us to embrace and accept. So the second element is accept and embrace. So some of us, or even myself too, sometimes we do know that this is our real reality, that we sometimes have some difficulties in the work, sometimes we have some difficulty in study, sometimes we have some difficulty with resting, but that we don't want to accept it. We don't want to say, yes, I know that I have some difficulties with these kind of things, with myself. And we try to ignore it. Or maybe we find some reasons to just ignore it. And then maybe we just try to cover it up with something else. So how to practice to accept our reality, our situations. So if we have difficulties with our friends, first thing that we have to do is stop to recognize and embrace it. So this is a story that I just encountered last year. And this is a very unexpected experience to me, that we have a team to do some work, and we work with the brothers. And then at the beginning, I felt okay to work with the team like that. And for me, I'm sometimes feel very confident to work with brothers, because I know with the brothers, I don't really live with them. I live here with the sisters. So after working, after the organization, we organize something, we can just let go. But this is a long-term task that we do together. And then I work with a 2 sisters in New Hamlet and 2 brothers in Upper Hamlet. And then at the beginning, everything seemed very well, it seems going very well. But then one day, and we also send an email back and forth many times. And one day when I received his email, there's big anger reactions coming up in me. And I didn't know why. And then I found so many reasons to know, because of him, like this, like that. And then until one day, I could not bear it. I come to see my elder sister, the one who worked with me. I come to see her and said, "Dear sister, please help me next time. If he sent the email to us, can you help me to answer him, but not me? I can work, I can help, but I will not have any connection with him." And my sister looked at me and said, "What happened to you?" "I don't know, but I feel that I could not work with him. So I'm sorry for that." And then when I say it out, I feel something in me feel that relief. But deep down there, I know there's something already triggered. And then after I say that to my sister, and she said, "Oh, this is something's not good. Maybe we need to organize the session of beginning anew." And then I look at her, "Are you sure?" "Yes, we need to have a beginning anew session." And then I look at her, not really ready for the practice, but because she's my elder and the way she shared with me, that made me feel that I also need to practice. And then I said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, send the email to him and ask that we will have a session being together, but not saying that we have a beginner anew." And then I asked her, can you write that letter to him and inviting him, not me?" And she said yes. And then we met each other, we shared everything. But after sharing, sharing from our heart, I also didn't feel anything better. I also feel everything's the same. And then after a while, I come to her again. I said, "Suko, dear sister, something that I really want to say to you, that can you continue to work with him, not me? Whatever you ask me to do, I can do, but not he sent the email and I the one who have to respond to his email." And she looked at me, "Again?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but this is something that I have to figure it out more, and I really don't know how to do." And she looked at me with the compassionate eyes. And she said, "Okay, I will try my best." And then from that, she's the one who take care of all the emails that he sent to the team. But actually, I really feel sad inside of me when I have that kind of reaction toward him. And then for the day of mindfulness, instead of seeing our brother and sister from the other hamlet of us, we go to the other hamlet. We say hello, how are you doing? Or just greet to know that that brother or sister is still in the sangha. But for me, wherever I see him, I started to have a tendency to turn away to another direction. And as soon as I see that tendency, something wrong inside of me. Something really wrong. I have to figure out what happened. And even seeing him talking with someone, I also don't really want to see him too. And I said, what happened to me? He's my brother. But then I have this kind of reaction. What happened? And then I just left things like that for maybe around 1 year. And I didn't really know how to do. And then I shared that with many, many sisters. How can I do to help me? And even with the sister in the same family, ordination family, the sister who normally play with him, hang out with him, or even the sister sometimes very close to him, I asked many of them and share my story with them. They all laugh because it's so funny. And but my difficulty is don't laugh. This is my real reality. And then they just listened to my story and said, okay, you will figure it out later. But the thing is, last cooking retreat, there was a couple who come here, and I had a talk with them. And after while talking, and also sharing my difficulties with my experience with them, I don't know why, but then after that conversation, I did a walking meditation with the whole Sangha. I see him with my father's face. It was something that I never expected. I never think that why I see him with my father's face. And then I said, well, why my father's appear here in this face? And then during that walking meditation, it's really like something triggered very strongly inside of me, because I had a very good relationship with my father. And now it's come up with the person that I have difficulties with. It's really shocked me. And then during that walking meditation, my father's face and his face just mix up. And some of the actions, some of speech, or some of, characters just mix up. And then I come back and continue to contemplate why. And then I just keep really maintaining my practice, because it's really something, it triggered me very deep inside. And then more and more, I just see that even I love my father very much, but there's some things in him that I didn't accept it yet. So I think this brother really protected my father. So that's why I have this kind of strong reaction toward him. And then since I recognize and realize these problems and these issues, I started to say to myself that from now on, wherever I see him, wherever I look at him, I will see him as my brothers, but not my father, because I really see him with my father's face already. And from that, I know that, this is my issues. It's not his issues. Maybe he have nothing with me, only me, the one who created the problems between both of us. And then I just felt so sorry for him for two times, for the beginner new practice. But then maybe he didn't have any problems with me, only me, the one who created the problems, the one who take my own issues to become his issues too. And since I realized that, I feel so happy. I said, okay, now I know the roots. I know where it's come from, and I have to accept him as he is, but not my father. And since that, I started to send the email to him again. And last time I met my sister, the one who helped us a few times, I said, dear sister, thank you so much for helping us. And now I feel that I know happened and why I have that kind of reaction to him. And my sister, what? Can you share? I said, because I see him as my father. That's why I have that kind of reactions. And then, but then now I know how to practice, and I accept the situation, and I will practice with my father inside of me, and I will practice with my brother inside of me, and outside. And since that, I started to write the email to him again, and my words become like a more gentle and easier to hear, to read. And I also take initiative to approach him and ask for help. Before, I just tried to avoid and ignore him. But now, wherever I come, if the feeling of irritation or feeling of not being comfortable coming up to me wherever I have a talk with him, I recognize and say to myself that this is my younger brother. This is my brother. He's not my father. And it's very pity for him if I look at him like that. And so that is a very unexpected experience that already came to me last year. And now I feel much better with that. And thanks to the practice of mindfulness, that they can help me to accept my situation. And from the work, I know myself more. So maybe we can hear one side the bell, and then we can continue. So the third element, so when we work, we can recognize our habits, our tendencies, and from that we can transform and heal from the way we work, the way we rest, the way we practice, and the way we study, so that we don't accumulate more things inside of us. And if there's anything come up, with the mindfulness can help us to recognize. It's like my experience with the brothers in Upper Hamlet. So we can, the third one, healing, heal and transform. And so from know how to stop, how to see our tendency, our habit, and accept our situation and embrace it, we can have a chance to transform the habit, energy, and also the suffering. And from that, the four elements, joy, we can generate joy and happiness while doing things. And if we do things and we don't feel joy, it's not a correct practice. It's not a right way to go. Because whatever we do, we really need to have joy. We really need to have interest. We really want to have happiness. So that from this joy, happiness, can help us to move forward. Otherwise, the more we do, the more we contribute, the more we serve, the more struggle and suffer we do sometimes. Because maybe we offer, but we also demand others too. We expect others, like I expected my brothers to follow what I really want to do, so that we have a conflict between each other. And so this is a very important element in doing whatever we do. If we don't have joy, it's very, very hard to have a long-term commitment. So like a work, when we work, and if we don't have joy, maybe for a while, few years, or for a while, we can quit. We can change to another job, even that we really love. We really want to do this kind of of task, but because there's so many difficulties around, and we don't know how to practice and how to manage, we have to quit. But that we also feel regret after quitting it, or maybe resting. Do we feel joy while resting? Do we feel joy while doing having a vacation, holidays? Do you not think if 7 days? Many of you have been here for 7 days. It's like your holidays, your vacation. Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel happy with your holidays here in Plum Village? Do you feel joy being here with your holiday in Plum Village? So that is your experience. So the mindfulness can help us to know how to rest well. And when we rest well, we can heal and we can feel the joy. And from that, we can go very far in our practice and on the path of transformation. And study too, and practice too. So this is 4 element factors that can help us to be balanced, our 4 pillars. So wherever we don't know where we are, we can see where we are in these 4 steps. Do we feel joy in doing things? Do we accept the reality? Do we stop, be present, and recognize our habit energy, our issues, our problems, even with ourselves or with the people around? Because we are human beings, and for sure we have certain kind of relationships, maybe relationship with our colleagues, or relationship with our parents, with our friends, whoever. But do we stop a little bit to identify our reality? And then do we have capacity to accept, embrace? And then from that, we can transform our habit energy and turn it into joy and happiness. So this is 4 elements that we can apply for these 4 pillars. So if we can do one well, we can have a chance to do the other ones well too. So we don't need to divide it into, this is a work. I will practice for these 4 elements with work, and then I will do it with another one. If we know how to rest, we will know how to work, how to serve. If we know how to practice, we will know how to study. And if we know how to study, we will know how to work. And depends on the practice of mindfulness, how much we invest our energy in that, so that we can have a balance while doing all these things, while doing these 4 pillars. So this is my sharing for this topic. And now it's already 11:45? 10:45. I prepared something, but I don't know that, do we have enough time to play this game? This is kind of a game, but it's not really a game, it's like a homework. So my question is, any one of you, all of you here, do you have your device here? Or notebook? If you have device or notebook, because there will be some questions that I will ask and you will answer it. Are you ready for that? If you don't have a paper and pens, I already prepared some here. So before we start, maybe we will listen to one Sata bell, and I hope everyone has a pen, paper, or device to write something down, and also to answer these questions for yourself. Can I erase on the board? Okay. So I have few questions that I would like to ask. And this is inspiration that I had from one talk of our teacher. He shared this talk with monastics only, and he also prepared a couple of questions and asked us to answer, and answer in the way that for ourselves, and answer quickly. When I ask the question, you just write it down and answer right away. You don't need to think. This is just something up here. Even that you are here for 7 days or 3 months, especially for those who stay here for 3 months, it's really helped you to reflect your practice. And so I will ask, I don't know, do I need to write on the board or just read it? And you write it, and you can write it on a sheet of paper. Because the question is quite short, it's not too long. Okay, let's try together. Okay, first question. Write down your name, or maybe Dharma name that you received for the 5 mindfulness training or 14 mindfulness training. So if you haven't received 5 mindfulness training or 14 mindfulness training, you just only write your name. But if you receive 5 trainings or 14 trainings, you write your Dharma name. So first. Okay. The first question. Do you sleep well? Say yes or no, or you can point, like score yourself with the 10 or 100. But this is something that for us to reflect. It's not something for us to judge ourselves, but just to know that where we are or who we are, how about our health, our practice, how our practice here in Plum Village. Okay, finish. The next one, do you eat well? The next one, do you practice exercise? Okay, the next one, do you enjoy sitting meditation? Do you enjoy walking meditation? Do you enjoy practicing mindful breathing? Do you feel connected with your body while practicing? Just say yes, no, or just score yourself. For yourself, not for anyone else, just for yourself. Do you feel joy and peace while practice walking, sitting, mindful breathing? Ready for the next? Have you been able to attend the Sangha's activities without any obstacles? So this is a question especially for long-term friends who stay here for maybe 10 weeks or 12 weeks. Or for those who here for 7 days, you can also answer these questions. Have you been able to attend the Sangha's activity without any obstacles? Ready for the next? Okay, the next. Have you enjoyed being in the rotation teams and doing mindful service? Okay, the next. Okay. Have you felt comfortable sharing the rooms with others and lived harmoniously with them, especially for long-term lay friends? So at home, you have your own room, own house. You come here, you have to share the rooms with 8 people, 5 people, especially in New Hamlet. Most of the long-term friends, they have to share the room with 7 or 8 people. It's quite challenging. So have you felt comfortable sharing the rooms with others and lived harmoniously with them? The next. Have you been able to handle your emotions? Have you been able to cultivate joy and happiness in daily life to offer to yourself? Have you been able to cultivate joy and happiness to offer to others? Have you practiced relaxation in the daily life? Is there any practice that you like the most and feel benefit from it? Is there any practice that you feel difficult to practice the most? And last question, have you enjoyed the lazy day? Everyone finished? Do you feel surprised after doing this test? So keep it for your own, and don't look at it as something that you judge yourself, but it's like a motivation for yourself to move forward. If we have any difficulties in the practice, and now in the question we say yes or no, it's very good to know it. And then if we cannot find the solution, we can ask the brothers, sisters, or our mentor, or your mentors for help. So that our 3 months here, after 3 months, we feel better. We feel that we have a fruit of practice to go back to the daily life, to the life out there. And so for me, last time when I did this test, I was so surprised myself. So I think it's good to have a surprise, and then from that, we can step forward. And if there's some nourishment in all these questions, please continue to nourish and continue to support and help yourself in the daily life. So my suggestion is that sometimes our brothers, our brother and sister, we tease each other that when I came to Plum Village more than 10 years ago, they asked me that you have to take a picture when you just arrived to Plum Village. And a year later, you take another picture to compare yourself from last year and this year. So for you, my suggestion is, if you stay here for 3 months or maybe 7 days, you take a picture. Maybe now it's too late because some of you have to leave tomorrow. But for those who continue to stay, you can take a picture yourself now, real picture. No Photoshop, just only a picture, real picture. And then keep it. And the end of the Ren retreat, or the end of your period here, you take another picture and compare yourself to see there's any difference. Do you feel better after being here in Plum Village? Do you feel you look fresher? You look happier? Or you look more sad than the day that you arrived to Plum Village? It's very good test for us to see our face. Because when we're happy, our eyes just naturally bright, our face naturally fresh, our body naturally relaxed. So take a picture now, and then the end of the period, take one more picture and compare, and let's see. Our foreign body look happy, and inside our mind, our feelings, our health, our emotions, our consciousness, our perceptions, our mental formations are better or not. So this is my invitation, and I wish all of you to have a beautiful retreat together in the community. And I also wish for those who have to leave Plum Village tomorrow, you have beautiful continuation. And we look forward to see you back here wherever you have time. And thank you so much for coming and practicing with us. And also take your holidays here with us. So thank you for your listening.